And we're off. Welcome back to another edition of FlowState on a beautiful, windy day. We got our friend Tiga with us. Hope everybody's doing well, feeling prosperous, feeling connected to living into your future self. Have to love when things just flow and feel as they should. So picking up where we left off last time, or let's say the lack of discussion, which I had intended to talk about fitness and then got derailed into talking about something else, which I don't quite remember. Keeping things as fresh as possible, we're going to dive right into the fitness conversation. We're going to talk about strategies. We are going to talk about a framework for success, which is different than my reference to strategies. So let's first talk about setting goals, because that's the most important part of any long-term let's just maybe relax a little bit, choking himself. Long-term goals and really getting clear on what we want. I think it's important to focus on this idea for all aspects of life, because without a clear vision, you're going to get lost. You might be lost at this moment, which is why you're here. I know I was for quite a while. Working on yourself is the most challenging and rewarding job. Let's call it a job, because it requires real work, real dedication, and a commitment to executing your long-term goal. So let's rewind. Let's talk about fitness, health, and wellness in general. For me, let's just dive right into a little backstory, a little genesis, if you will, of my fitness journey, which is very much ongoing, which will continue to be at the forefront of my daily activities and the daily actions I take until I die, whenever that happens. I often joke about, the irony of life, and that the people who are, let's switch your arms here, the people who are really into health and wellness and on the extreme level, and they can sometimes run into problems down the line if they don't take care of themselves properly. It's not just about having six-pack or whatever, or being lean. It's about actually being healthy, not just, Tiga, how about we walk to the right of me? Okay. It's about being healthy. And being healthy is not an aesthetic. I think being healthy can yield a desirable aesthetic, one that is lean and muscular. But what good does it do if you can't walk down the road to the ocean, or up a mountain, or play softball, or whatever it is the fuck that you do? I don't know. But the point is that it's completely useless and is a vanity project unless you're actually healthy and you're dialed in with your nutrition. If you're into supplements, just living a lifestyle that's more holistic and less contrived. And my point is that some of the healthiest people that I know don't have six packs, but they can sure as shit lift and push a ton of weight They can run hard and have crazy endurance, and their mobility is on point. So I'll trade away a six-pack any day for my ability to do all of those things with high level of proficiency. I also think food is one of the greatest pleasures in life, and being able to enjoy amazing food is instrumental to a fully flushed out health and wellness plan. So we'll go back to the beginning. I was always very active. I played lots of sports. Before I went off to school, I was very active when I was young on, hockey teams and soccer, and I even did baseball for a minute, basketball. During school, I went to boarding school, and I went to two schools. The first school, I went to both schools for 4 years respectively. Here, let's get this collar off. Okay, you're free. You're free. So there were lots of sports, lots of activities. At the school I went to for elementary school and then high school for 4 years respectively each. And I played a lot of squash, tennis, crew, soccer, rugby, basketball. That was extremely short-lived. I was not good at that. And I really just enjoyed being physically active, and I found it to be an amazing outlet for stress and just activating my body in a way that felt good to me. And I think that's an important thing to never lose sight of. Life is supposed to be fun. You're supposed to have fun. If you're not having fun, you're not doing it right. And that's okay, as long as you're working your way up to being able to have fun every day. And a lot of what we talk about is how to leverage fun in everything. It's about elevating the human experience. No matter what you're doing, taking out the trash, washing the dishes, being present in every moment. So after high school, went off to university for a brief moment, and I was active, and it was very kind of sporadic in terms of what I was doing, the type of physical activity I was engaged in. I was in a men's soccer league for a while, which was cool. I did some weight training for a while, but then I kind of fell out of it. And where I was living at the time was in a rural area in Texas, outside of Houston. There wasn't much going on, and I kind of just slowly started gaining weight without even really being conscious of it. This was still very much when I was living in a past version of myself without any real profound understandings of where I was going or what I was doing, where I am now, having this mental clarity and focus that I wish upon as many humans as possible, because I know the impact that it can have on a life. And I didn't get really overweight. I think the fattest I got was like 230 pounds. And right now I'm at 87 kilos. I'm sorry for the, imperial to metric, and I'm absolutely horrible at math, so that's just not really a compute that resonates with me. And so what I'm basically saying is I can't do the conversion on the top of my head. So I think that's probably around, if I had to guess, between, let's say, 190 and 200 pounds, let's say, now. But I'm a lot leaner, and I have a lot more muscle than I did. That was just a big blob of fat. Although I have weighed more or less the same amount since I've been kind of 18 years old. It's possible I dropped a little bit here and there, but more or less the same kind of frame. So it wasn't about until 7 years. Tika, why don't you go over here? Oh, God. I didn't bring a bag. And it's caught on camera. Oh, man. All right, it is what it is. Fortunately, we're in a rural area, and so be it. Little fertilization happening. Ooh, man, these waves are big today. I wonder if I'll see a surfer or two. And I think it might be low tide again. I did not check. I really love low tide here. This is fantastic. So I kind of just ballooned up to 230 and not quite over this cough, maybe one more day. Maybe two. So I ballooned up to 230 without even being conscious of it. And it wasn't until maybe 6 or maybe 5 years ago that I made the conscious decision to get healthy. Actually, that's not true. It was, well, I'm 40 now. Oh, it's basically, I gave myself a 10-year goal to do something that could be achieved in 6 months, if you really got locked in and put your mind to it and just went total savage. And so the reason I set, here Tika, let's go this way. The reason I set such a crazy goal for myself was because I knew that it was going to be achievable without stressing when things weren't flowing in the right direction momentarily, because in the long term it's all good. You're gonna hit little road bumps, speed bumps along the way. Whoa. And that's okay. That's just part of life. That's just natural. Not every day is gonna be perfect. Not every day is gonna feel optimal. And I think what's most important is during that time, during those periods, to not lose sight on the big picture, to not lose sight on the goal and the journey, not to be upset with yourself, not to talk negatively about your current struggle. Whoa. Come on, buddy. It's like a little horse. Whoa. It's just an opportunity to dig deep and to reaffirm what it is that you're trying to do. So I set myself a 10-year goal to be in the best shape of my life, even better than when I was rowing crew, which was pretty fucking hardcore. And so I set out on this journey. And the first year, well, I guess the first part of the first year was super rough, because in your mind you have this vision of where you're going and you know that it's possible. Ooh, it's windy today. You know that you can get there. Oh wow, super low tide. Amazing. Sorry, I'm just figuring out where I want to go here. So, it's the hardest thing to do is to start and then not stop. Especially when you're overweight, especially when you are a total savage and you can push yourself. And that's applicable to all kinds of scenarios. So I set out on this journey, and fortunately, through some planning, some environmental scenarios, meaning like we were living on a beach for 6 months when I kick-started this journey. And I decided to run to the end of the beach and swim back every day. And it was a struggle. I mean, I was dying. Could barely do it, you know? It was really, really, really difficult. Whoa. So windy. I hope the sound is still going to be okay. So it was really, really difficult. It was a real serious challenge. And I also decided to start intermittent fasting. And so it's like you're doing 3 things that are new. Well, I guess the whole exercise thing, as well as the intermittent fasting, which is definitely a challenge when you're just used to stuffing your face with whatever the fuck you want. Come on, Tika. And so oh wow, someone's all the way down there. It's crazy. Sorry. Got a little distracted. And so having the determination is one part of it, right? It's like you need to be mentally dialed in, and what comes next is essentially the byproduct of your determination and your ability to block out the noise. Wow, it's super windy. Oh man, it's so low right now. This is amazing. Here, let me get down here. I don't know if you recognize this spot, but We did a video just there the other day, yesterday actually, and this was full of water. It's amazing. It's like a different universe gets exposed when the water drops. Fantastic. So great. So where my head is at and why I'm expressing this now is because I feel that it's so important for people to understand that getting healthy, getting clear, focusing on the small things to amplify all possible outcomes, living into the future you, is really hard work. But it's the most rewarding, it's the most fulfilling, and it allows you to live in a way that is it's like what dreams are made of. But it's really difficult, but it's a worthwhile endeavor. It's the most important thing, because in life we want to be in service to others, always. And how can you be in service to others if you're broken or not able to be physically capable of doing what is required? Obviously there are crazy factors like, being in a wheelchair and all kinds of other things. And that's like a different level, okay? Especially when you're confronting something that has happened to you, where you were able-bodied and now you're in a wheelchair. That's a different mental challenge that I'm speaking of. So let's just table that for now, and we might revisit that at a later point. But right now I'm talking about people who are looking to get activated, feeling like they want more out of their life, which is all very possible. I'm the embodiment of a transformation that is possible. There are simple tools that you can implement. Taking action on a daily basis is so powerful, I cannot stress it enough. It's really the difference between allowing a pile of dishes accumulate over a couple of days in your sink and taking action and doing the dishes as the dishes become dirty. It's a metaphor for life, not wasting time. So back to fitness. Fitness is an interesting thing. There's a million influencers, creators, crazy qualified people, so much more than myself. I'm not an expert, but I do know what works. And for me, it's just as important to get the mind right as it is to have proper technique lifting in the gym. So how can we work on mindset to be as effective for us and achieving our goals as possible? It's not necessarily about establishing habits, and for some people that may not be the right course of action, but it's about reframing our environment for success, which requires you to take action, not postponing, not delaying, but right now taking action. For example, what's something that you can do right now that's going to make your life easier tomorrow? Have you been putting off doing laundry? Is that pile of dishes accumulating in the sink? Have you pushed your taxes to the last minute? Every time we procrastinate, we're allowing ourselves to be less present, and asking for distractions while depleting our mental energy, because it's not like put it in a drawer and forget it. It's more like, I don't really feel like doing this now. I know I have to do it. I'm gonna wait until the last possible minute, and then I'm gonna torture myself thinking about doing that thing that probably would have taken me 5 minutes to do, and now it's taken me 3 weeks to do it. That's not a recipe for success. That's a recipe for anxiety. That's a recipe for being late on the thing that you said you needed to do. It's a recipe for self-harm, and essentially you're torturing yourself. And this really could be as mundane as laundry or whatever, and as complicated as breaking up with someone or getting a divorce or whatever the case may be, okay? It still is applicable to all these scenarios. My whole thing is taking action. Taking action is a form of empowerment, being in control and not allowing yourself to get distracted by things that are of low status. Maybe the task is extremely important, but procrastination is low status, low vibration. It's clutter. It's not clear on what you want. It's not in alignment with your future you, who tackles things in the present moment as they come up, or they get scheduled as part of an ongoing process to create more time in your 24-hour day. Right? Everybody wants to create more time, but how do you go about doing it? It means getting clear on your past so that your past isn't dictating your present and therefore dictating your future. And you not living into the present, right? It's like, how can you be present right here, right now, when you're consumed with things that happened to you 20 years ago or 5 minutes ago? Taking a moment for yourself when you need it is the most important thing that you can do at that very moment. It's fundamental to being clear and centered. It's okay not to open your mouth a millisecond after something has been said to you. It's okay to give space for your thoughts to process and for you to formulate a response or make a choice. Time is a tool that so many people under leverage. Time is an asset that when you tap into that, it's like a superpower. Creating time out of nothing. Being able to be more focused when you create time blocks in your schedule. Hitting the gym, training in nature, jujitsu, whatever it is, okay? Meetings, all of this stuff. You know, life is complicated, life is busy. We all are running around, going crazy, running around with our heads cut off, but that's no way to live. You want to be organized, you want to be dialed in and focused. Woo! Wild. So, I'm gonna drop out, record my video, and I'll be back soon. If you're looking to create lasting change in your life, I've got something for you. A 91-day journey broken down into simple, powerful steps to get you there. I created the 10 steps to everyday action to guide you towards your goals, whatever they may be. But it doesn't end with the download. When you sign up, you'll also receive a 19-part email series spread out over 3 months, designed to guide you with real, actionable steps. Each email is crafted to inspire, challenge, and support you as you progress daily. This isn't just any email sequence, it's a structured journey. You'll dive into topics such as setting meaningful goals, building resilience, creating a balanced life, and much more. Each email is packed full of exercises that fit into your day-to-day, keeping you moving forward without overwhelming you. Are you ready to take the first step? Download the 10 steps to everyday action using the link in my bio, or drop a comment and I will send it to you. Let's start this journey together and make these next 91 days count. All right, we're back. I don't know how I feel about the recording I just made. We'll have to see. But I took full advantage of this beautiful location. I mean, you know, when things aren't going right, what do? You adapt, you change course, you just go with the flow. It's so important to allow any resistance to pass right through you. So I recorded my first take. There were a lot more lines to the script. So it takes a little bit more effort, obviously, which is good. But when things aren't flowing, sometimes you just have to move on. So I took advantage of the sun, took off my clothes, basked in the glory, recharged, tried again, took a second take, and we'll see how it turns out. That's what editing is for. And I can always come back and do it again tomorrow if I don't like the way it turned out. No big deal. Holy shit. Little wet shoes. Still, the mega grip on the Vibram high top 5 fingers, phenomenal. Really quite something. So going back to the fitness aspect of our conversation from earlier, I really want to emphasize the importance of a plan and a strategy. There's a time for planning. You got it? All right. There's a time for planning, and then there's a time for execution. You don't show up to the gym without a plan, without an idea of what you're hoping to achieve. You do that before. You watch your YouTube videos. You get a clear understanding of the type of split or whatever structure you want to go for. Like I did this morning. Sorry. You know, it never ceases to amaze me how I feel like every time I go on a different way. Oh no, I remember this. Crazy. I'm locked in. So how do we go about building a solid plan to then execute at the gym? You start by defining your goals, right? I want to lose 15 pounds of fat and gain 20 pounds of muscle. That is a real goal, objective, perfect. To go on to YouTube, use Google to start developing your own program. You absolutely do not need to buy pre-existing programs, although they are extremely beneficial. They are not required. Whoa, this way. I love this cave. I don't know if you can see this. This is fantastic. It would be a cool kind of like camping spot, honestly, overlooking the ocean in the morning. So there are a few people who I trust because of the quality of their information. Yeah, this way. Jeff Nippard is one. Science-backed training, phenomenal YouTube channel. Highly recommend to follow if you aren't already. Renaissance periodization. Whew. Is another one. Mike Israetel. Phenomenal. There are a few really good sources of information. Watching and educating yourself, really educating being the operative word. All of these people have incredible content that's just ready to be used by people like you. It's a good thing it was leg day at the gym. Fucking hell. Understanding that with anything, it's not going to happen overnight. Understanding with everything, too hard, too fast is only going to make things more difficult. In fact, it might even derail all of the thinking and internal motivation that you've put in to get you to the gym in the first place. But what good is it going to do if you go to the gym on your first day, smash out an hour and a half of training? Can you guess what's going to happen next? You're going to wake up the next day paralyzed. You weren't ready for that. You had no business doing that. You're just creating pain and suffering where there should be basking in your glory. Patience, as we've talked about before, is so vital to your success. Without patience, it's just a clusterfuck of shit. Losing out on all your gains, feeling sore, too sore to train. All right, so come on, there we go. It's about, you know what it is? Be the tortoise. Don't be the hare. The tortoise will always win. You play the infinite game. Simon Sinek talks about this. It's not a new concept. It's one that will keep you focused on long-term gains, delayed gratification, instead of going too hard, too fast. It almost feels calm from up here. Oh. I just want to say also that I appreciate you dropping in and hanging out with me for a little while. My intention is to be in service to you, like I am to my one-on-one coaching clients. I'm still figuring out this whole YouTube game. I really see it as a valuable endeavor to be able to share and express myself in a way that hopefully resonates with you and then empowers you to take action. There are other videos that we're publishing. You can find them on our social media channels. That are more bite-sized and not long form like FlowState is. I just read a comment yesterday from someone who has been really appreciating the content, also appreciates the format, so that's really great to hear. I feel as though this idea of just flowing on various topics that are at the forefront of my mind, as well as long-term concepts that are of great benefit to people. There's nothing free though. You need to do the work. The exercises that you can find in the descriptions of the videos, it's required. I keep them short, concise, and to the point to give you actionable steps to achieving your goals and to help navigate along the way. Taking it a little easy today. Speaking of gym sessions, training sessions, I'm in a 3-day-a-week flow right now. Hitting the gym pretty hard 3 days a week. an hour 20 minutes. Well, actually I start off with 20 minutes of the step climber, starting off at around a resistance of 7, building up to either 11 or 12, and I am dripping fucking sweat by the end of that 20 minutes. My legs, my body, my core temperature, all activated, all primed for a focused session where I'm not only fueling my body, but my mind as well. I love to listen to technical podcasts while I train. I also want to point out that my battery has 12%, and I will do my best to hoof it up this hill, but I cannot promise. So if we get disconnected, you know why. I was training basically every day at the gym, well, Monday through Friday, let's say, and your volume and the weight will fluctuate wildly because you're essentially reducing the amount of rest that you have. So you need to be mindful of how you set up your split. Although my preference is to hold a full body split every day using different exercises. Hey Tiga, let's put this on, buddy. Tiga. Whew. Tiga. Tiga, come. That's a good boy. Just put this on. We gotta find your collar. He lost his collar, lost his harness. It's all right though, this is just a very short amount of time. Okay, we're gonna let this car go by. Hola. All right, up the hill we go. 10%. So, final thoughts on health and wellness as it relates to training in the gym, setting up a plan, having a vision for the future. Get specific. Feel the way you will feel when you achieve your goals. Visualization is key. Not just in the 1.5 hour session to kickstart this journey off for you, but as a constant reminder of what you're working towards. And let us never forget, we'll never get there, which is so great. It's like the song that never ends. It's not about anything other than a journey that you're on. Like all of us. If you've been training and you've kind of peaked on your gains, which is very normal for people who have been training for a while, you're going to be making all your gains at the beginning of your journey, or at least that's where you're going to be seeing the biggest difference, the biggest transformation. It's not to say that you still won't realize gains later down the road. They're just going to be a little bit less dramatic. That's where getting really dialed in with your diet is going to make the biggest difference. And that will compound with good sleep. Good sleep habits, setting yourself up for success by creating a dynamic routine that you can live into. Speaking of sleep, we'll definitely have to flow on that next time around. I will say this though, whatever time you choose to be in bed by, you need to start at least an hour before. Lock it down, dim those lights, turn off that TV, no more phone, nothing stimulating. Sleep is in you, and you will feel it. Just embrace the natural rhythm of your body and float into sleep. Allow your lymphatic system to drain, which you can help by sleeping on your side. And the benefit of having a raised head is that it helps drain your lymphatic system. Feeling well rested in the morning and energized is what it's all about. Waking up naturally is what it's all about. Very achievable goals. If you had to choose one thing in life to get right, I mean really get right, it would be sleep. And when you're young, you're all like, I'll sleep when I'm dead, bro. Which was me. But I had no one to look up to guide me at a young age. Like I'm here for you today, and like I am for my family and my children, and anyone else who's interested in elevating the human experience. It's all about taking action every single day. Oh man, 4%. Will we make it? But okay. Okay. Oh, tight squeeze. Well, I'm going to say my goodbyes now. I really appreciate everybody again for dropping in with me. Please consider subscribing to this channel. There's more information in the description. You can also download my free guide on the key 10 daily actions that you can take to really kickstart your journey, to fire things off. Oh man, we made it with 3% in the bank. Oh, another adventure. Totally wiped out. Peace. Love you all. See you next time.